A player I wanted us to get in the summer who was a free agent was Ilmo Reese from Preston North End at the time. And I thought, brilliant, that's somebody we could get in. 27, 180 odd appearances for Preston, 46 goals, and had a bit about him. Kind of a little bit of a younger target man, can play with his feet as well, looked good. And annoyingly, it's someone Danny wanted at the club as well. Danny was somebody who was hoping to try and make a deal there to get him. And I've been wanting to do like a rate our transfer window, but there's no point. The transfer rate window was an F. It was diabolical. And the thing is, this is the kind of striker you would have wanted to brought in, being able to come and lead the line, maybe with someone like a Bailey, and have that kind of second option there. And it's one of them ones where you looked at him, he was everything we needed in terms of a player. 27, right age, got championship experience, free transfer, wouldn't have to pay a thing. You would have only had to do wages. But of course, we've had the summer discontent, where everything that we wanted to do or everything we tried to do has not happened due to financial issues. So it put us in a really, really sticky situation. And I knew he was going to be a striker that got picked up quite quickly by someone. And the fact they'd gone to Bristol City says a lot about where we're going to be looking at him at the weekend. And he does go against us, so bear that in mind. So we've got to have to keep an eye on that one. Bailey Cadamarteri scored for Jamaica last night, which was fantastic news. He gets off the mark for his country. But it also means that if he gets off the mark to his country, will that help him have a little bit more confidence going into Wednesday games and trying to lead in the line for us? Really good take and goal as well. Really impressed with it. So it was one of those good things. I think his brother said, if I score, you've got to score. So I like that. I like a little bit of brotherly competition there. Jan Ballerie's Tunisia has qualified for the World Cup. So they will go into World Cup, which I keep forgetting the World Cup, yeah. But they will go into World Cup. So that's another player who's going to be there. And Josh has been speaking to the Star and opens up about what basically happened a little bit. And he goes on to say, it was incredible. I feel like I did really well for them and they were really good for me in terms of support of players, managers I've worked with. I've got the relationship that you want after such a long time. All the players, the physio, masseuse, after kit, man, they're amazing. The time I had at the club was great, but for me, I was really happy to be where I am now. But I'm so grateful for the club that gave me 5 years. So he goes on to talk about the situation with Wednesday as a whole and how things were going. I had a conversation in January about a new contract. He told the Star around it. When I signed my contract last summer, I took a bit of a pay cut because the season thought I had an injury. That was on the terms that if I were playing a lot and scoring goals, I would be offered a new contract. For whatever reason, that never materialised and I lost the trust behind that plan. The work was broken, so I just carried on playing and did my job. I knew from then that at the end of the season, it was time to leave. I did my job and I gave it everything, but that promise was broken. I decided to move on and I'm delighted to be at Wrexham now. And it's one of those things where you look at everything that's going on. That says a lot about it, that there's been a broken promise there, that there was going to be something, but it didn't happen. And it's one of them things that's really interesting. Now, we all kind of knew where we were going. It was no secret that they were looking at him. He said on Wrexham's owners, they are great guys. They both sent me a little text after I got the injury and that, which is a nice touch. They're really personal, and you wouldn't think Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. Where did he say that? I've missed my thing. Where is it? Is Ryan Reynolds? When you speak to him, he's just a nice guy. They ask about family stuff, nothing about football. They're just genuine fellas. They've been winning non-stop for 3 years, and now to get here, where the next step is the promised land, as they say. If I can do that, it would be great, but I'm trying to do that in the last few years with Wednesday, but obviously it wasn't to be. I'll come here, a group that has had so many million, then give a crack, and that's what I'm here for. He goes on to ask whether the situation at Wednesday hurts him. He said it does. When I was at the club, I got on with the chairman and his family. It's easy for me to say now, and I know might get hammered by the fan for this, but I do believe they care about the club. the way it's been run the last couple of years, it might be difficult to believe that because of the trouble they're in. Obviously, the situation seems to have got on top of people. Everything in football comes in cycle, and Sheffield Wednesday will turn it around. A club with a fan base of that size is inevitable that the club will turn it around one way or another. It's a strong team, though obviously the depth isn't where you want it to be. The team they have got there have got experience with Baz, Matt, Jan. It's going to be good, but it's sad. You want to see a team like them going to what Wrexham are, but obviously that's not always the case. I want the club to do really well. If we were fighting it out, the first and second, that would be amazing. It would be both fighting for playoffs. That would be amazing. But I just want the club to get back on its feet, and you can see with the supporters, they deserve that. And again, it's another one of these ones where a player come out and gone, he's great with me. Saying that he does care. We've had that a little bit with players in the past. Baz has said that to a point. And it's just one of these things where you look at it where, yeah, they're saying that, but there's got to be a time where that kind of stops, like not stop caring, but stops being the kind of thing that people use. But like, this is Josh's opinion. We cannot say what Josh's opinion is because it's his opinion. It's his thoughts. It's his comments. And it's interesting that he said that, but I wish Josh all the best at Wrexham. At the end of the day, I would have liked to see him stay. But at the same time, he had 5 years here. He gave us what he gave us, and you have it where players have to move on. Josh felt like it was time to move on because the promise was broken about his contract. And that kind of says to me at the same time, it's like, if they weren't having contract talks then, problems were already starting to become arise. Because that's the time where you would normally want to start talking about contract, January, February time. And the fact that it didn't materialise says a lot. And at the end of the day, Josh was a good player for him. We wish him luck. Would have loved to get email Reece, but that's not going to be the case, sadly. Just because he, for whatever reason, it didn't materialise. We couldn't get it done due to our financial situation in the summer. And yeah, he's right. It does, things do happen in cycle, but the problem is this is a cycle when they're all too used to. This is a cycle that keeps happening every couple of years. Good couple of seasons, then bad couple of seasons. Good couple of seasons, then bad couple of seasons. And again, you want us to be competitive, but you want us to not have the narrative that we are constantly having, that it's all about the negative that's going on at the club. And they're going, oh, look, here's an article about yet again not paying players. So hopefully there's some positive to come. But thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I don't know how many videos there will be today. I'm a little bit knackered. I had a big seizure last night and it kind of knocked the wind out of me. You might be able to tell a little bit on camera. I'm a little bit struggling, a little bit slurring of words. So apologies for that. But if something does happen, I will do a video on it. If not, I'll leave it by the by. Tomorrow will be the big one because we've got press conference. You'll have your preview recorded for Friday because I won't be doing it on Friday day because I'm prepping for a wedding. And if anything breaks on Friday, and we'll probably have a live stream Thursday night instead of Friday because I can't do Friday. So thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.